Good morning to all of you. So I hope I am audible to all of you. Mm, Can are you people able to hear me? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in our last class, we are discussing on the topic of the flow and error control. Right? Just a minute. Okay. So today we are going to continue the discussion with the next topic, that is HDLC. DLC is for data link control. Now the next part, the next topic we have today, that is HDLC, means high level data link control. So in the part of this high level data link control, what is the idea behind this? That in HDLC, it is a bit oriented protocol for the communication over point to point and also the multi point links. So the communication is happening. So we can say that communication is happening over point to point and also multi-point link and also multi-point link with bit-oriented protocol. So the communication is happening over the point to point and also multi-point link by bit-oriented protocol. So here bit-oriented protocol is actually the idea was using in behind of HDLC, right? So the HDLC part, the implementation are ARQ mechanism, that how to configure this, how to transfer the modes. Actually, that HDLC actually two common transfer modes, two type of common transfer modes used for different configurations. So when we are actually trying to transfer some data, there are two type of difference mode. What are those two different mode? One is called NRM, second one is known as ABM. NRM, first one is known as NRM, full form normal response mode. NRM stands for normal response mode. Second one ABM, asynchronous balance mode. Second one ABM, asynchronous balanced mode. So these two modes are there while the time of means trying to transfer the data or configure the scenario. The HDLC has two this type of modes. So NRM and ABM, normal response mode, and asynchronous balance mode. So what happened in the first one, that NRM we will look. So the NRM, normal response mode, what is the scenario? That the station, primary or secondary, means the sender and the receiver, whatever the scenario is, the station configuration is not balanced. It was some unbalanced type. So what happened? The first idea behind NRM is the station is unbalanced. First one, in NRM, the station is unbalanced. How the scenario looks like, we will see through a diagram. But let us first talk about the idea. So the NRM, the station configuration is unbalanced, right? We have in NRM, what happened? We have one primary station and multiple secondary stations. So what actually the scenario is, suppose this is my primary station and there are multiple secondary stations. So primary and the secondary, these two type of station is there. How the scenario goes on? Just a minute. So what happened in this via primary and secondary mode? Actually, a command is sent from the primary mode. Primary station sends some commands, and secondary stations are going to respond. So the command is coming from the primary station. So here the command is coming from the primary station, and secondary stations are going to be response on the command station on the particular primary command. So this response, the command is coming from the primary station, and the secondary stations are going to be response on that particular primary stations, right? So this NRM has point to point or multiple point links. That's why we have said in the first line of HDLC that what the communication is happening over point to point or multi-point link. So if the thing is single, if there is one single secondary station, then it will say the point to point link, and if there is more than one secondary station, just like we have drawn, so that is called a multi-point link. So point to point link or over the multi-point link, the primary configuration, the primary station is going to send some command, and secondary station is going to be response on that particular primary station, right? Now the next part that we are going to talk today here, that is APM. So NRM, the normal response mode, primary is sending some command, and on it the response is going on. Right now, the ABM, Manish Kumar, I will kick you out into the from the class. Okay, so you will not be able to attend the class. Now we are talking about the next part, that is ABM. That is our asynchronous balance mode. So what happened in ABM, the asynchronous balance mode, the configuration is balanced. The configuration is balanced in the part of ABM. So the ABM configuration is balanced. So what happened? The point to point connection is there, and each station can function as a primary or as a secondary. Means there is nothing distinguished like that this is my primary station, this is my secondary station. All the station can act as a primary station, and all the station can act as a secondary station. So means there is no waiting for someone to command something and then someone to wait a response on the particular command. So primary or secondary, both the channels, both the stations can act as a primary and secondary. And now the scenario is when a particular station can act as a primary or secondary in both the way, then both they can send a command, and also both at the same time they can response also. So command and response can happen at the same time from one particular station, as it is not any primary, or there is no distinguishing between primary and secondary response, right? So there is no distinguish between primary and secondary responses. Now the next part, that framing. We have heard this particular term framing so many times, right? So starting from the day we have started the classes, many times we have heard this particular term framing. And what is this particular framing? We have an idea that to break a message into the smaller unit, that is called a particular frame. That is the simple idea of the frame, right? So this framing, so that is called a frame. So to break a message into a smaller unit, that is called a frame. Now this framing part to provide some flexibility necessary to support all the options possible in the modes and configurations. So this flexibility provides this framing is actually providing some flexibility necessary to support all the options possible in the modes and configurations. So this framing has three type of frames. Initially, this framing has three type of frames. What are those three type of frames? First one is known as iframe. Second one is known as S-frame, and third one is known as U-frame. So these three type of frames are there. I, S, and U frames are there. So what is the part? What is the I frame? What is the S frame? What is the U frame? In I frame, the full form of I frame is known as information frame. The full form of I frame is known as information frame. What happened in information frame, that it is used, this iframe is used to transport the user data and control information relating to user data. So this iframe is used to transport the user data. So whatever the user data needs to be transport, it is used for the things will be done by this iframe, transporting the user data and control information relating to user data. Control the information relating to user data. So iframe is used to transport the user data and control information relating to user data, right? The next part, that is called S frame. The S frame used to transport control information. The S frame is used to transport the control information. I frame is used for both transport the user data and control information relating to the user. S frame, the full form of S frame is supervisory frame. The full form of S frame is known as supervisory frame. And this supervisory frame is used to control the information. Only control the information, transport control information, it is done by the S frame. And third one, that is U frame, that is known as unnumbered frames. It is known as unnumbered frame. So what is this unnumbered frame? It is reserved for some system management. U frame means some unnumbered frames. And these unnumbered frames are used to provide or to deal with the particular system management. It is used for some system management. So this I frame, S frame, U frame, these three type of frames are there, and the information carried by this U frames is intended to manage the link itself, as it is a system management frame. The U frame is a system management frame. So whatever the information is going to be passed with the U frame, it will be reserved for the system management, and it is intended for managing the link itself. So the link will be managed by U frame itself. So this each type of frame serves as an envelope, means as a, if you be consider it as an envelope, the total thing is put into an envelope, and then for the transmission it will pass. So different type of message putting into an envelope, covering it with the envelope, then it will be passing through the transmission medium, right? So I frame, S frame, and this U frame, these three type of frames are there. Now we will see that what are the format of this I frame, S frame, and U frame, right? So the format if we are talking about for the I frame, first one. there is a flag. First one is a flag, and in the last at the end there is a flag. So two flags initially in the frame format of iframe. Next, after the flag, there is a part called address. After the address, there is a part called control. So flag, address, control. Then the part is known as the user information. After this user information, there is a part that is called FCS. So these three, there's 5 or 6 segments into an iframe we can see. So what are the first one? It is known as flag, right? The second part, it is known as the address, flag address. The next part is known as the control. The next part after the control, it will known as the user information. Next part, it is known as the FCS, flag address control user information, and lastly, it is known as flag. Actually, I have mistaken one. Just a minute. So this is a format or iframe format for iframe. So flag, address, control, user information, FCS, flag. This is the total format for the iframe, right? So similar, if we go for the S frame, the format from S frame is same. Flag, address, control. The user information will not be there. Only FCS and flag. So in the F frame, sorry, in the S frame actually, the format will be same. In the S frame, the format will be same, but only this thing will not be present there. In S frame, this user information will not be present in S frame. So user information is not present in S frame. Flag, address, control, FCS, and flag. This is the format for the S frame. And lastly, there is another part that is U frame. So what happened in U frame? The format is same, flag, address, control, and lastly FCS and flag. But in the place of this user information, there is another part that is known as the management information. It is known as the management information in place of the user information. Why management information? So when we have heard the U frame, that it was telling that it was some for management purpose and it was managing the link by itself. So that's why it is for system management, and management information will be passed in case of user information. In iframe, the user information will be passed and control information related to user data will be passed. Supervisory frame only transport the control information, and in unnumbered frames or U frames, for as it is a system management with the control, so the management information will be passed. So these are the 3 frame format for iframe, U frame, and S frame, right? Now the part that is known as the various part of this SDLC means we have write many parts of this, that flag, address, control, user information, FCS, flags, management information. What are these particular fields are? So we will discuss about these fields one by one. Now, first one that is called a flag field. First one that is going to be called as flag field. Wait. So what happened in the flag field, or what is this particular flag field scenario? So this flag field has a synchronization pattern, and this synchronization pattern is used to identify the beginning at the end of the frame. So that's why in each of the frame format, we can see the flag is at the starting and flag is at the end, right? So this flag is used to identify the beginning and the end of the frame by some synchronization pattern. So flag field is a synchronization pattern that identifies both the beginning and the end of the frame. First part, that is flag. Second one, that is address field. After the flag field, we have address field. What happened in address field? What happened in the part of the address field? This address field contains the address of the secondary station. Means from a station, from a primary station, the secondary to the secondary station, or in the case of, we can say, some other part that where no primary or secondary station, both the stations are can be act as a primary or secondary. The address needs to be merged with the format, otherwise the data is where it is going, or where the data needs to send, we cannot find out. So the address field will contain the address of the another station. Means in simple, we can say this is a secondary station. So if a primary station, we can say, the created the frame, the primary station have created the frame, it contains a to address, means to the destination, to which particular station we are going to send. So it will contain the secondary or destination address into the format. So if a frame is created by a primary station, then the address of the secondary station will be attached into the address field of this particular frame format. And if secondary creates the frame, if the secondary field creates the frame, then same, it will contain the another part, the particular from, means the primary station need not anything. Primary station sending some address, sending some data, so the primary station also need to acknowledge the data, means the acknowledged by the secondary station. So that's why when secondary station will acknowledge that, it will add the primary station data also from the where it is coming. So both the address will be merged in one particular address field, and this field, depending on the needs or how much will long, it will depends on the need of the network, right? Third one, here we can talk about the third part, that is known as the control field. In the part of this control field, this field is used for flow and error control. So when a data is going to be transferred, the data needs to be corrected, the data needs to be checked that whether the data is have any error or any flow problem is there. So to control the flow and the error, the control field is merged with the format to check the flow and error control, right? Next one, information field. After the control part, the information field means the user information or the management information, whatever the information field are. So information field, in the part of this information field, what we can say, that this field contains the information related to the user or the management, depending upon the frame. If it is I frame, it will control the user information. If it is U frame, it will control the management information. So depending upon the information, what type of frame we are actually sending, the information will be depending on that particular frame. So for user information, it will be the related information related to the user, and for management, it will the information related to the management information, right? Next one, FCS, the term, short term, this is called FCS. Then what is the full form? Frame check sequence. FCS, frame check sequence. In the part of this FCS, the frame check sequence, this field or this particular segment is known as some error detection field. If any frame has an error, to check what is the error, that is done by the FCS, frame check field. It is done by the FCS, frame check field, and this field can contain either something standard cyclic code, CRC, cyclic repository code. So FCS field is used for some error detection, and means some frame check. If there is any error, what is the error, to find out, that is done by this FCS segment. That is done by the FCS segment, right? So now we have talked about these I frames, S frames, U frames, right? Then what is there are several segment also we have talked about. There is one particular part that is very important, that is control field, because the one of the most important thing to check the flow and the error control, it is done by this control field. So control field is one of the very important part, and how this control field works for the different frames. How this control field works for the different frames we are going to see. So first one, we are going to check the control field for iframes. So with respect to the control fields for iframes, it is designed to carry user data from some network layer. So the iframes are designed to carry user data from the network layer. So every frames have some different purpose. So what is the purpose of this iframe? Iframes is designed So iframe is designed to carry the user data from the network layer, right? Now this iframes we are talking about, they can include flow and error control information into the control field, right? So in each and every frames, some flow and error control format or segment is attached, and the flow and error control will check the some information will check by the flow and error control segment. So this subphase of the control means the control is a total field, and in it there are two parts, flow and error. So the flow in the subfield of this control, the first bit here will define the type of the frame. If the first bit of the frame will define or control field, the first bit of the control field will help us to identify that what type of frame it is, because we cannot understand by seeing it or by looking into it that what type of frame it is, right? So to identify that particular frame, we need some particular patterns, particular process to identify that what type of bit or what type of frame it is. So if the first bit of the control field is 0, if the first bit of the control field is 0, so how we can identify it? Then it is known as iframe. So if the first bit of the control field is 0, then it is known as the particular part of iframe. So control field, if the control field is 0, then it is known as the iframe. And if the next three bits define the sequence number of the frame, the next three bits into the control section define the sequence number of the frame. So the sequence number can be identified with the next three bits, and the last three bits correspondent for the acknowledgement number. So there are, considering there are 8 or 7 bits are there. So the first bit is used to identify the what type of frame it is. The next three bit will be defining the sequence number, and the next three bit or the last three bit will command or help us for the acknowledgement purpose. So these bits are used for the sequence, for the identifications of the control field, or to identify that what type of frame it is. The same for S frame also. So the first two bit, if the first two bit of the control field is 1 0, so in I frame, if the first bit of the control field is 0, then it is known as I frame. But in S frame, if it is 1 0, if the bit, if the control field start with the number 1 0, then it is known as S frame. So if the first two bits of the control field, then it is known as S frame. So if the first bit of the control field is starting with 1 0, then it is S frame. It is known as S frame. And lastly, for the U frame, the unnumbered frames are actually used for some session management, means management information actually. So it does not need any type of identifiers. We can see when it is managing, or we can identify it by the information simply. So management information, we can identify it. So this U frame contain an information field for some system management information, not any type of user data, right? So these are the segments or the control field or different U frames. The several U frames are there, and we can identify each of the point with this particular process, right? So we have talked, or we have started the talking on the SDLC with the very first point, that is PPP, point to point protocol. So this PPP or the point to point protocol is the common protocol for point to point access. Nowadays we always use this particular protocol for the point to point access part. So the users much in today's era, the number of internet users who connect with their from their home, from the mobile laptops, everything means have with a single ISP. So computers from a single ISP, we are taking some router, we are connecting with the router, and we are enjoying the internet with multiple devices, right? So this is known as the point to point protocol, that each point have access to that particular router. So connecting through a mobile, number of mobiles, maybe two, three, four, with the laptops. Also, if you have desktop, it has direct connection with the LAN. So several from a single connection from the ISP, we can actually connect with multiple devices. So this is the common protocol that is used for today's era. And in this PPP, it also use that framing scenario. So PPP have also this frame, that flag address control protocol. One added thing is here, that is known as payload, and lastly the FCS and flag. So the format is almost same in each of the cases: flag, address, control, protocol, payload, FCS flag. So what is the term payload? This payload is a new term which is known as what is being carried, or the field defines what we need to carry by the payload field. So it by default it carries either user data or the control information. So similarly means it will have an information part, either user information or either management information. The payload is similar to that user information or the management information. So that is the part of the payload field. So this is the part, or this is the topics we have discussed for today's class, from the HDLC, from different type of frames, different type of format of the frames, different segments, how the frames looks like, what are the information, what are the scenario. We have talked and discussed about each and everything in today's class. So in the next class, we are going to talk, we are going to discuss with another topic, continue from there. Some more topic that is called byte stuffing. There is the transition phases, how it actually works, and the several types of questions. Now, there is one thing, that what type of questions may come with this error detection and corrections and detailing control, that we can have this type of questions, that how many types of errors are there, what is parity check code, what is Hamming distance, how we can use Hamming distance for the error correction, what are the frames, what are the type of frames, draw some format of the frames. So several this type of questions or this type of scenario comes into the exam. So we will discuss about this also in the next class. But before that, let us cover the or finish this particular module, and then we are going to discuss on the questions also in each and every segment, right? So this is all for today's class, and I would like you all to kindly write down names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Okay, so I hope that all of you have written your names in the chat box for the attendance purpose. Okay, so thank you all for joining into the session. Take care and stay safe. Reminding you again each and every time, just be safe from this scenario that is going on. Okay, so take care and stay safe.